gesture toward. I am folding myself into an airplane seat. Business class, Group A, surrounded by gray pompadours, pantsuits, and briefcases, staring at this tiny human in faded leggings and a jean jacket. I want to meld, be stitched onto the surface. Any surface would suffice. It is the middle of October. Los Angeles remains sun-kissed and colored. I wonder if I will finally see my father cry. I have 1 hour. My sister didn't exhibit the same signs, but they were still there. Baggy clothes, hiding behind curtains of hair, going to sleep with her head hurting, but waking disappointed that she did not have a tumor. She got a lot farther. Water, hands to the neck, while I only dabbled in pills. My mom blames me, says she must have copied me, but I knew she didn't. Her moves were too deliberate. I was too focused on suffering. She wanted to stop everything. 4 years later, I am high on Zoloft. The vomit that comes is a sack of baby spiders hatching from my throat. Seminar hours have become closing walls, aching to crush my shoulders. Angry red dots occupy my scalp. Your father has a history of mental disorder. Yes, I know about his brother. It's not good to always be in therapy. You shouldn't go if you don't want to. According to Jack Halberstam, queerness is the art of failure. While holding my sister after a month, I thought we must have looked like 2 kindergarten paintings, 2 flimsy canvases swimming with strokes from the clumsiest fingers. I once wrote on a fellowship application that I write poetry because it is the only way I can scream. I didn't get the fellowship. My mother asks my sister's therapist about nature versus nurture. She finally has a theory as to why we are both so fucked. Immigrating to New Jersey left her uprooted, abused, and neglected. In that tiny apartment in East Orange, where my grandmother made snide comments and my father turned a blind eye, her pain made its way through the umbilical cord to me, and then, 1.5 years later, to my younger sister. I had to laugh. Am I a living body of diasporic suffering? My mother is giving new epistemology to illness. The Filipino diaspora is a trans-Pacific current of chronic sickness. Can queerness only be inhabited as pain takes shape? In Otherwise Ferguson, a Sean Crawley argues for otherwise possibilities. The disbelief in what is current and a movement towards and an affirmation of imagining other modes of social organization, other ways for us to be with each other. When we think of queerness, will there always be a body dangling over an edge? What are the other ways we can bend and stretch our limbs? The other ways we can mark the gold and brown mapping our skin? The other ways we can envelop the adulation and desire clustered in our lips? I look at my bleeding, peeling, stubby fingernails. I tell my father it is okay to cry. I understand why he never told us about my uncle. I understand why he prefers silence. There are things that can only be communicated in pauses. I wonder what my father would say when I tell him I am as much his son as I am his daughter. I have folded myself in pieces. My partner and I named them yellow, green, orange, and red. Red, I am ready for oblivion. Orange, I am dancing with the slivers of light echoing from a blade. Green, a breakdown in the making. Yellow, I think I can be happy. Your eyes must do some raining if you're ever gonna grow. I wonder what Connor Oberst would say when he sees what I've done to rainbows. I almost lost my sister to University of California neoliberalism. I like to think my father lost his brother to US empire. The violent histories of empire and capital are written on the bodies of Filipinas, on our bruised and bleeding hands and our brown neo-colonial breasts. Is there is, such a thing as chronic empire? And how is it written, transmitted, in me, on me, on my mother? Kimberly says it's okay to write poems out of marginal notes, a constellation of hyper-particulars. I am not a constellation. I am a mass of creases, of upset color, of a mind, body, waiting, flailing, and beeping for the day where I can wake to possibility. I learned that my uncle also folded himself into a rope. My father found him. I think that was when his mind-body circuits disintegrated and he became machine operator, paper boy, company in the morning, bus boy, restaurant worker, best rice maker in the evening, and quiet, sleepy, silent, not really there, but not actually deadbeat father. What does it mean to be both daughter and familial emotional laborer? To be girl and ghost of suicide's past? To be queer death and futurity wrapped in the same potentialities? An unrest in, a discontent with, a seeking to conceive, to wake laughing with tears of joy in our eyes, dreams of that have a saying. I can finally think, feel, bleed, feel I'm alive. Thank you.